Good evening, Dr. Anisha. Good evening, Dentowesome team, and all my dear colleagues and friends. It's really an honor to be associated with such young people who have been so enthusiastic and share the same mindset as me. When I say the same mindset, I mean to say by that is that they believe in giving back to the society. We all have been a part of this society, a part of this beautiful profession called dentistry, which has given us really so much. Whether we want to believe it or not, whatever we are today, it is because of our beautiful profession. So, yes, it is indeed a pleasure to be speaking. And so, can I start, Dr. Nisha, or is there anything else?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're very excited to hear about all the
Thank you.
knowledge that you can share.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, guys, the Zoom room has maxed out. We have 100 possible participants only. So, those who can't join in or maybe get disconnected and have to re-log in and they find the room maxed out, they can go on the Facebook page, which Dr. Anisha has already shared with you. So, allow me to share my screen so that I can begin the proceedings with you. And as usual, it is our mantra to always start things on time, and today is no exception either. Okay. So friends, this is going to be a 45 to 60-minute presentation, and I hope you will love the ride because this is about pretty much basic things which are never taught to us in our profession. And if you stay with me till the end, I'll be making you aware of all the other projects that we do and those which are in pipeline in 4 days, 5 days time on 12th of August. So I'll be telling you that. So welcome to today's webinar on how to financially plan for a stress-free dentistry. Believe it or not, we want to believe it or not, money is the underlying cause of stress in many, many situations. So we need to understand that money may not be the everything in life, but it is one of the most important things in life, which actually makes the mayor go. We all must have heard the Swamis and the Babajis around who says, "Paisa mithya hai." The Babaji comes in a helicopter, comes with a guarded, you can say, in a guarded vehicle along with gunmen and all that stuff, and he says, "Paisa mithya hai." So it is up to you. Make this statement, say this statement after you have earned the money. So that is the bottom line. So don't say this statement, money fizul hai, paisa fizul hai. We all slog day in and day out primarily for money. Money is going to make the mayor go. Money is going to make things happen. Without money, things can't happen. That is a practical brutality. Whatever we want to believe in our profession, that at the end of the day, it is a business. A business is something which has income and expenses involved. So if something has income and expenses, it is a business. So dentistry is no exception either. So as usual, all my presentations will always start with thanking the Lord Almighty who's given me much, much more than what I deserve. And when it comes to finance, I have to thank my dad as well, who has been instrumental in teaching me the clinical part of finance. Unfortunately, we lost him a little more than 3 years back. So I celebrate his birthday and his death anniversary as the mini day of education in my community. So that is the reason I told you a few things coming up on 12th of August. So it will be 79. So this is my brief CV. Dr. Anisha has already told you about this. I won't waste much time over this. So let's begin. So we are here for this topic today for a financial plan for a stress-free dentistry. So thank you, team Dentowesome, who's given me this opportunity to share the stage and the dais with you. And thank you, wonderful audience who have spared their valuable family time on a Sunday evening to be here. And I can assure you, your 1 hour is not going to go waste. Okay, so let's begin today's session. So we all know stress comes in varied formats. We may try to avoid it. We may try to, you can say, go aloof from it, but it comes from unexpected quarters and unexpected corners, and it engulfs like anything. Whatever you can say, most of the stress is related to money part. Many of that is related to time part. So as professionals, most of us is related to the income part as well. So Some of us are really earning into six figures. I'll say those who are not earning, maybe, but or not earning well, I mean to say. But those of who are earning, maybe they are earning well into high figures. But what do we have? We have the fixed operational costs. COVID came, March 2020, and ultimately, Dr. Nisha, I'm sorry to interrupt. Dr. Nisha, please keep on admitting the participants because the notification comes right here in the center of the screen. So as and when, okay, thank you. So COVID came and went. COVID was here for the first wave was very severe one in terms of the low down part or the operations down part. Maybe the cases were not great in number, but the fear factor was there, at least in the initial 1.5 to 2 months. But we still had bills to be paid. Our rents were to be paid, our other bills were to be paid, our salaries were to be paid. So yes, the variable cost like our material bills and maybe the lab bills did take a skip, but unfortunately other bills had to be paid and the income was absolutely zero. So that is the reason most of us were valiant, running like valiant warriors and going फटाफट जैसे बोलते हैं ना सिर पे कफन बांध के निकल गए क्लिनिक को कि मेरी आज ईएमआई ड्यू है अगर मैं नहीं जाऊंगा तो माय क्लिनिक विल नॉट अर्न मनी एंड देन some of us who are doing PG based on student loans have student loans as well. Plus the biggest thing, the technology which has been ever changing. The dentistry has seen a lot of changes in the past 5 years. What it saw from, you can say 2007 to 17, it has seen more than that in 2017 to 2022. And most of that technology is going very high. And it is just the, I wouldn't call the herd mentality, but yes, people have started following each other that yes, this is the thing which needs to be taken care of and the way it is. So then another part is we don't know about the tax woes. We are absolutely unaware. Somebody who is earning 15 lakhs, let's put it 12 lakhs, for example. I'm putting that figure at 1 lakh per month. Somebody is grossing 1 lakh per month, gross, not the net collection. The gross means the total collection. He's grossing 1 lakh per month, annual income 12 lakh. He has this mindset. India mein 30% tax bracket hai, means 12 into 30. 3.60 lakhs will go to the government for without any reason. Absolutely not. Even with 3 lakhs, with 12 lakhs of income, you pay almost nil tax, just with a few basic investments only. And the tax structure has also been changing. It has been very dynamic as well. And then the important thing, we don't plan for our alternate RIP. Now, some of you will ask, sir, RIP means rest in peace. Why are you making us die? I'm not making you die. This is an alternate term, again, coined by me only. Alternate RIP means retirement investment planning. Most of us are in private practice. Even those who are in jobs in private colleges, we will not have any pension. We don't have any source of income. If you want to rely on that age on your kids, that will be the most pity something or the worrisome thing for you. The second thing, if you want to keep working till the age of 60, 65, 70, all the best. Dentistry is not a very kind profession. It has not been kind on our back and neck. So we need to understand that we need to make a retirement plan so that we can retire at our own terms, not when the profession chooses to make us retire. All this leads to what? Stress. Yes, of course, I'll break that down and I'll tell you a few do's and don'ts and a few, you can say, carry home points as well. So, but why do I say that? Because our peak life years are very less. A common individual has close to 4 decades, starting from 22 to 62. We have close to 3 decades. And out of that 40 years, a common man, a common individual has maybe 20 to 25 years of peak. We, out of our 30 or close to 30 years, have maybe 15 to 20 years of peak. I am talking about the maximum limit. So we all have that set of financial baggage with us. All these aspects, that those 5 aspects that I just told you, will lead to nothing but the stress. I can see a few raised hands. Don't worry, guys. I'll be dealing with all the queries in the end of the session. Whatever you post in the Zoom chat link or on the Facebook chat link, till the last query is answered, I'll be here. So don't worry. So just keep on noting down your queries so that we can have a interruption free session. So all this leads to nothing but stress, because we are known to be bad with finance. But this does not mean we'll be bankrupt or having a debt life. We need to understand that we are not doomed to such life. We can pick and choose our life if we behave in a particular way. So there are a few aspects which need a bit of monitoring in the stress factors. Let's discuss a few of them. The number one factor is the heavy investment in our education. As doctors, as individuals, we are looked upon as upon like God to heal sickness. You can say relieve from pain, trauma, whatever way we deal with truth. We don't deal with lives as such, but still our profession is a demanding profession in terms of investment in education. We spend a lot, we work hard a lot, and with or without post graduation, both things aside, and all that costs a fortune. Yes, a few of you might be lucky to study in the government colleges, but even then, even the government colleges cost in many states is not in the common man's reach as well today. So then after you do your UG and PG, the game is not over. You have dental implantology, rotary endodontics, lasers, or anything else, or anything similar, anything specialization, which will take time and involve money as well. As I said, a common man or our class 10 plus 1, 2 friends from commerce and humanities who start their career at the age of 22, 23, and the doctors are studying and settling into the age of 28 to 30. So practical difference lies there only. A few of my school batchmates have their children ready for marriage, and my daughter is 15 years old. My elder one is 15 years old. This is the difference. So they're you can say kids are around about 24, 25, almost about to be married. So plus all of this, even if you don't have, even if you have a specialization, you have a PG, after that also you need to update your skills and keep educating yourself in various specialties, and that too involves cost. So if we consider about the time and the effort part, and of course coupled with that the money part, we start earning much later. That lag of 10 years जो होता है ना, वो 10 साल का गैप पड़ गया. वो फोमो तो आपने सुना होगा. आज आपको मैं एक नई टर्म दूंगा, coined by me only. FOMO is fear of missing out. We all know. Now that lag of 10 years becomes a reality. Oh my God, it is an IMO. I actually missed out in these 10 years. ना मैंने कमाया, ना मेरी फैमिली बढ़ी, ना मेरा क्लिनिक बढ़ा. And my peers of 10 plus 1, 10 plus 2 in commerce and humanities are doing great, or they are already settled. They already have a kid. And here I am at the outskirts or crossroads of dentistry, figuring out where should I go. Then the second factor which needs a bit of monitoring, that most of us lack financial knowledge. The problem is that we actually don't respect money in the terms it should be. We stack up loans, have too much of what, we can say we earn less and pay back more in terms of EMIs. So this is one aspect that needs to take, you can say, has to be taken into account. And then once you start earning, ऐसे लगता है जैसे पंछी पिंजरे से आजाद हो गए. Then you start going the extravagant way. अब कमाना शुरू किया, अब थोड़ी सी ऐश की जाए. People have this mentality that it does. They love splurging on their vacations, expensive cars, large house. Sometimes even for that they are taking huge personal loans. Personal loans are the worst kinds of loans that are possible. The only advantage they are unsecured, don't need a collateral. So this arises primarily because of lack of the financial knowledge and not looking at the long-term prospects. कि कमाना शुरू नहीं किया, जोड़ना शुरू नहीं किया, रिटायरमेंट कहाँ से होगी? Unlike our forefathers or our parents, many of those who were in jobs, they had a pension. We will not have that. You have to, whatever you earn, that is going to give you returns. Then loans and debts taken for study. they'll eat up into your current earning income as a EMI. Plus, the clinics cannot be shabby looking in today's times. The trends have changed. Even the Twitter shows the things as trending. So this is one aspect we need to understand. I remember I started my clinic with the dawn of this millennium on 1st Jan 2000 in evening OPD in a 10x7 storeroom. It was a storeroom in the past. I renovated it a bit and started my clinic. People in those days, not me, but many of my colleagues, opened their clinics because they were getting bored in the evening. Yes, this was a fact. Not long back, 22 years back only, 22 plus years back. So I accidentally got into private practice. My friend had bought a second-hand chair, so he wanted to start a clinic. Before he left for Canada for 3 years, his PR was awaited in about 2.5 to 3 years. As luck would have it, the day he paid the advance, the queue of his PR jumped, and he was the lucky winner. And his PR was just almost in his hand, and he was supposed to leave the country in the next 2 to 3 months after the formalities or so. So came to my dad, said, "Uncle, आप finance के guru, आप सबको guide करते हो. What do you advise me? Should I leave the advance?" 20,000 he had given as advance. 20,000 was a big amount 22 years back. So what should I do? My dad looked at me. तू खोल ले. तू भी तो शाम को free होता. Dad, I go to the job in the evening. नहीं कोई बात नहीं. Job में क्या मिलता है तुम्हें? 2,000 ही मिलता है. Yes, 2,000 was my salary at that time. Clinic खोल ले. इससे तो ज़्यादा ही कमाएगा. And that is how clinic happened to me. Of course, I shifted to a better place in 3 years' time with a much bigger setup of 2,200 square yards. So yes, these things do happen, but now you can't do such things. You need to plan for a good high profile look, grand interiors, and so many things you have to keep up with the trend, at least in tier 2 and tier 1 and tier 2 cities. If not in tier 3 or tier 4, even you can say the consumers, I won't call the customers or patients, the consumers of our services are, you can say, much demanding in tier 3 and tier 4 as well. So the EMIs, when they run into thousands, they start hurting us like anything. As happened in March 2020, April 2020, COVID time, the EMIs were still due. Yes, the banks offered the deferment of the EMIs, but that came at a price. So yes, if you are taking heavy loans, what you are earning and paying back in the form of loans, आपके पैसे से बैंक आप कमाओगे, बैंक खाएगा. That is the logic. That money which was supposed to be used for your retirement nest egg, or retirement planning, or retirement corpus, as you may call it, that is digging down. Because when I take finance lectures, people ask me this question, sir, आपने बोल तो दिया यहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट कर लो, पर पैसे बचते कहाँ हैं? कहाँ जाते हैं तुम्हारे पैसे? Hair. वो hair and hair में loans and debt ज़्यादा होता है, other than the clinic expenses. Then lack of financial, you can say, teachings. Accept it or not, our current education system is broken, which just does not prepare us for readiness in terms of documentation, record keeping, consent, and of course the management part and the financial part. This DMF index, as I call it, DMF, you may have read it in community dentistry as decade missed and filled index, but I call this as documentation, management, and finance index. This thing is lacking in our current education system, and we need to plug this gap. I've been doing my bit to give back to the society since the past 6.5 years now. So on the online platforms only. First it was on WhatsApp, then it was in the form of webinars, then in the form of YouTube channel, and then bringing up another platform and another platform next year. So I'm into this pipeline to fix this education system, because luckily I am qualified in all these three. This also happened by accident, but then that is a story for some other day or maybe. But let's focus on the topic tonight. So all of this is not taught in our dental schools. Plus, when it comes to finances, nobody discusses finances on the dining table. They believe if you discuss finances on the dining table, you are cheap, you are money minded, you don't talk of money while you eat. It is not at all prosperous for the family. Such kind of beliefs carry on in the family, and the genuine doubts and the genuine, you can say, genuine queries of the youngsters to ask from the parents or the, you can say, the father, usually they get buried. Then there is a God complex, hesitancy to seek help. Doctors are, you can say, the cream de la cream of the society, the top notch, the highest profession, as they say, because that is the preferred one. So we are considered to be intelligent, genius, perfectionist, you can say whatever. So it is that people pay us to buy take consultation, और हम किसी को पैसे देके कंसल्ट करें. It goes against our ego sometimes. कि लोग हमसे फीस लेके पूछने आते हैं और हम किसी को पूछें. That is that God complex we need to let go. So all these 5 factors, along with the initial 5 factors that I told you, they will make us appear vulnerable. If we ask for advice, we are vulnerable. We are not self-assured. We are doubting Thomas. We don't need, we can say, we don't know about this profession. So what is the final result? No prizes for guessing that. It is the final result is the stress part. And once stress happens, it leads to nothing but problems of health further. And we all need to understand, we get trapped under that load sooner or later, because this thing stays on our mind. मैंने अगर शादी की है, मैंने अगर मेरे घर में एक बच्चा है, तो उसको अगले महीने खाना कहाँ से मिलेगा? That is the question. या अभी सब कुछ ठीक, आज तो ठीक चल रहा है, इस महीने तो अच्छे पेशेंट आ गए, अगले महीने का क्या? We don't have an emergency plan. We didn't have the planning for an emergency fund even in COVID. That is why I said, सिर पे कफन बांध के निकलिए क्लिनिक में, कोई बात नहीं, देखी जाएगी. अगर नहीं रहूंगा वैसे भी तो मरूंगा ना, ऐसे कोविड से मर जाऊंगा तो सरकार कुछ दे देगी. That was the thought process of so many people at that point of time, 2.5 years back, a little less than 2.5 years back. So ignorance is not bliss anymore. We as dental professionals need to understand that we can't make sound financial decisions because we are not qualified to make. We may be qualified to save teeth, but we are not qualified to make financial decisions. So this line of logic कि हमें वो आता है तो ये भी आता होगा, वो डिसीजन ले लिया तो ये भी ले लिया होगा, किसी की एक बेट सच्ची हो जाती है ना, या तुक्का लग जाता है इन स्टॉक मार्केट, दे स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग इन द स्टॉक मार्केट लाइक दिस, and that is where they understand that if you do a hit and trial in finances, that is going to waste the most important asset in finance. When it comes to management, when it comes to your profession, we always say your focus is your most valuable asset. But when it comes to finance, time is your most valuable asset. If you lose out on time, you lose out on so many things. Plus, the tax regulations are very dynamic. They'll keep on changing. Knowing them is very important. 12 लाख का 3,60,000 टैक्स नहीं बनेगा, zero tax बनेगा with a bare minimum investment. Zero tax. Even with an income of 14 lakhs, a little more than 1 lakh per year, you will still, with normal basic investments done, you will pay zero tax. Zero tax. Officially, legally, ethically. Of course, the calculations that I can't tell in short terms, but this is for you to understand. Even if you are earning 20 lakhs, you will pay some tax, of course, but that does not mean 20 into 30, you will pay 6 lakhs. Max, with the normal investments done, max you will pay is less than 1 lakh of tax on 20 lakhs income. पौने 2 लाख कमा के per month, पौने 2 लाख per month कमा के less than 1 lakh in the year. Just मैं आपको एक average figure बता रहा हूँ, because I take finance workshops, so I'm aware of these numbers pretty much. So on the investment side, वो टीवी पे यार देखते हैं शिखर धवन की, जसप्रीत बुमराह की, सही है यार, म्यूचुअल फंड तूने कहाँ से सीखा? वो ऑडियंस का पोर्शन म्यूट हो जाता है, टिप में डालो पैसा निकालो, इट सीम्स लाइक दिस थिंग. एंड देन पीपल don't have this knowledge. They try to peep into others' portfolios from their neighbors, from their, you can say, known friends, and all those who are in their contact. यार तूने किस में डाला? Or worse come, the CA calls up on 15th of March, 15 days before the year ends. Of course, the financial year is from 1st April to 31st March. 15 days before the year ends, 15th March, CA calls up. आपने उसमें डाला, पीपीएफ में डाला, अच्छा एक काम करो थोड़े से ELS ले लो, अच्छा थोड़ा NSE में डाल दो. This is the way our investments happen on the 350th day of the year on hearsay basis, and that is what is, you can say, detrimental for our finances. So if you are investing, even now since the COVID, I have been going very less offline. But before COVID, I was going at least 2 to 3 times a month to various parts of India for my offline workshops. And one common thing I noticed in there is, even in a 2-day finance workshop, in a tea break, in a lunch break, audience would come to me, ask me a question, sir, wo mutual fund. Yes, we will discuss this after the lunch break. We will discuss. नहीं sir, आपने किसमें लगाया वो बताओ. So if that telling my investments is going to give you success, it's not, because everybody has a risk appetite. I'll give you a very short example. My elder daughter is 15. My younger daughter is close to 6. They have a 9-year gap, not by choice, but by chance. Or maybe medical legal negligence, if I say. Let's forget that. So for the younger one, if I want to invest, I'll need to invest in certain arenas which can be blocked for a longer period of time. The first major chunk, when do I need for the younger one? Probably at the age of 18, when she goes in for higher education. That is the time. For the elder one who just turned 15 in March, I'll need the money handy just before she turns 18. She's in 10th right now. She'll clear plus 2 in 2.5 years' time. So I'll need money rather at 17 and a half to be ready with me in case she decides to go abroad for higher education or maybe any professional career. So I can't block her money for longer time. Let's suppose I'm starting today. I can't block her money for longer time. I can block maximum for 2.5 years. And I can't block in a high risk thing like you can say an equity mutual fund, which I need to hold for at least 4 to 5 years to have a chance. I may be lucky that I get a good return 2.5, but there are chances that I might be breaking even or maybe having a slight loss also in 2.5 years. But for the younger one, I don't have any such fears. More than 12 years, I can block her money. She turned 5.5 in July. So I can block her money for 12 years plus. So that when she turns 18, I have the money with me for her higher education. So this is the way. Now, anyone who is 28, 30, youngster, graduated, post-graduated, locum, whatever, what are his immediate goals? The first goal may be setting up a clinic. Along with that, maybe getting married. Someone who is maybe 3 years senior to him, his immediate goal may be, now I'm married, I have my own clinic. My next goal would be bringing a child into the family. Even that is a big expense these days. Or maybe upgrading my clinic, expanding my clinic. That is a big expense. So this way the goals change for you. I am into 23rd year of my practice. So मेरे goals बहुत पीछे रह गए. My next goals are my kids' higher education and their marriages. In that regard, if I may say so. So if my goals and my time horizon is different, how can my investment be similar to your investment? Somebody who has 20 years in front of him, somebody who has 10 years in front of him, somebody who has 5 years in front of him. So this is the way things change. Plus, I may not be very comfortable investing, for example, 50,000 in an equity mutual fund. A peer of mine would be happy to do 1 lakh mutual funds per month. Fair enough. That is his risk appetite. This is my risk appetite. This is the way things work. So we need to understand there are 2 ways to go about it. Either do it ourselves by enlarging your knowledge database, Gyan ki Prapti, or seek the help of a genuine professional, that is a financial consultant or an advisor, to get us back on track. Now, I want to clear here one thing. People who double up their CA as an investment advisor. A CA and a financial consultant or a financial advisor are two different professions. चाहे दोनों finance field के हैं. Just like the endodontist and the oral surgeon are both primarily dentists. But an oral surgeon maybe can do a good root canal, but endodontist may not be able to do an impaction. Just an example. Exceptions are there. Forget the exceptions. But I'm just telling broadly. Both of them can do the basic task, but both of them may not be able to do each other's tough specialty tasks. Similarly, a CA might advise you a few things, but a financial consultant can't necessarily advise about the CA stuff. So these two are different professions. Don't mix them. I've seen colleagues taking full investment guidance from their CA, who's taking care of their ITR. So we all need financial advice, and we need to understand that sometimes we don't look into these things very, very minutely. Then, looking at our vulnerability part, we have so many financial salesperson in the disguise of patients, or patients in the disguise of financial salesperson, who have their own best interest in mind. I do a financial portfolio analysis also of a few colleagues on a one-to-one basis. So I was checking the portfolio of one of my colleagues, and I found he had invested in 12 mutual funds. And out of that, 11 belonged to Reliance. Of course, Reliance doesn't exist anymore. It has been bought by Nippon. So 11 of those mutual funds were from Nippon. And barring one mutual fund of Nippon or Reliance, none of their funds is in top 10 of any category. One or two categories aside. I said, is it your portfolio or is it Nippon's portfolio? Said, जो मेरे को उसने advise किया सर, मैंने उसको buy कर लिया. They may not have their best interest in your best interest in their mind. उनको अपने commission से मतलब है. This is the way things work. So a realistical plan which can help your monthly EMIs into monthly savings, cutting down on your loans, planning for your future, all this will have an effect on your tax outcome as well. The sad truth is, colleagues, अपने आप तो सीख ही जाता हर बंदा. It's not that जो चीजें आपको लोग सिखाते हैं, चाहे वो रूट कनाल है, चाहे वो मैनेजमेंट है, चाहे वो कंसेंट है, रिकॉर्ड कीपिंग है, चाहे वो फाइनेंस है, ये चीज आप नहीं कर पाओगे. You will do it. You will learn it eventually. What you waste in that is the portion which is most important, the time and the resources. In finance, the most important resource which you realize too late and lose it is time. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. I'll give you links of the few videos which you can watch. So let's come to the do's and the don'ts. Now we have seen the causes of financial stress, the effects of the financial stress, what all they can lead to. Let's see the do's and the don'ts on how we can avoid financial stress so that we can set up the things as per our choice. So as doctors, we are fond of giving instructions. दवाई इतने टाइम पे लेना, खाना इतने टाइम पे खाना, ट्रीटमेंट के इंस्ट्रक्शंस ये हैं, ये फॉलो करना. But when it comes to finance, we don't follow our own taste of, you can say, medicine. So there are a few cardinal rules, a few do's and don'ts which we have to apply so that you don't make those mistakes which everyone makes. Number one, the IMO approach, the exile period, जो हमने वनवास में period बताया ना, 8-10 साल लेट शुरू करके. So the temptation should be curbed to splurge out the money. Warren Buffett says, one of the legendary investors of all time, he says, save first, spend later. We do the reverse. We spend first and save later. And sometimes nothing is left, so we save nothing. So don't feel that you missed out on fun because of I actually missed out FOMO factor, IOMO factor. So don't miss out on that part. So spending out, venting out your money, flashing your credit cards on new cars, fancy vacations, eating out every alternate day, outside or ordering from Swiggy, Zomato. Don't do that. Put a curb on your expenses. Learn to do a proper budgeting first. If you learn to do proper budgeting, you will keep a check on your investments. And which means you can draw a decent line over what you do. Number two, we have a busy schedule. Some of us are very busy. Time ही नहीं होता सर, कहाँ से ध्यान दें पैसे की तरफ. I feel कैसे लड़ के मर के हम पैसे कमाते हैं. आज पेशेंट से बहस होगी 500,000 रुपए के लिए. अगेन, क्यों वही नहीं होनी चाहिए थी, पहले डिटेलिंग किया नहीं है, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन नहीं किया, फॉरगेट दैट. आज पेशेंट से 500,000 के लिए बहस होगी, लेकिन वो 500,000 हम लेके ही मान, मॉरल विक्ट्री. बट उस पैसे को अच्छा यार उसमें फंड में लगा दे. मैं ना सोचता हूँ क्रिप्टो बड़ी अच्छी रिटर्न दे रही है, उसमें डाल दे. अच्छा ठीक है, अच्छी है, हाँ बिल्कुल सही है, मैंने डाले हुए हैं, चल ठीक है, मेरे भी लगा दे. दिस इज द वे इन्वेस्टमेंट्स हैपन, बिकॉज वी आर हार्ड प्रेस फॉर टाइम. We don't want to invest our time and learning in there, so we blindly trust someone or hand hold our decisions to a non-expert. Then, being a dentist who works with hands and legs, of course, legs are also important, don't ignore that. So, our insurance covers the life insurance, the disability cover, the professional indemnity cover. Of course, professional indemnity is out of this, but when we talk of insurance covers, 3 covers are most important. Everyone needs a cover of at least 1 CR. A 28 to 30-year-old non-smoker male would have a premium of close to 16 to 17,000 max for a 1 CR plan. If you are the earning member of your family, learn to invest in that. For a female of the same age with no malices of smoking and all that, it'll be even lesser. And a disability cover of the same amount. Life is uncertain. We don't know what is going to happen the next second, but at least secure your family rather than cutting a sorry figure later. Then, doctors ka favorite since time immemorial, investing in real estate. बहुत सारे, not only dentists but बहुत सारे, before demonetization बहुत लोगों ने कमाया भी है. But ever since demonetization, the unorganized sector has come to a standstill. Maybe organized sector has not made much of a difference, but unorganized has fallen badly. It's been 6 years plus to demonetization, or close to 6 years. It'll be 6 years in November 2022. So real estate hardly gives any return in today's times. Then we end up investing in places which are not in our best interest. But objective यही है कि इसमें पापा ने बोला था डाल दो पैसे. The favorite investment of Indian household is FD या FDR, जो मर्जी बोल दो, TD, TDR, term deposit, fixed deposit, whatever you call it, means the same only. तो जब इन्वेस्टमेंट करनी है तो मैंने टैक्स सेवर एफडी में डाल दिया सर, 80C के लिए मुझे रिबेट मिल रियली. पैसा 5 साल के लिए लॉक भी कर दिया और इंटरेस्ट क्या मिलेगा, 5.5-6%. टैक्स काट के 3.5-4% सेविंग बैंक से कम. आई एम टॉकिंग ऑफ द सेविंग बैंक ऑफ अ प्राइवेट बैंक. ये लोग कहेंगे प्राइवेट बैंक सर सेफ नहीं होता है. ऑल आरबीआई रेगुलेटेड बैंक आर सेफ. जितना सेफ एसबीआई है उतना ही सेफ एयू स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक. दे आर ऑल रेगुलेटेड बाय आरबीआई. वो आपके मन का वहम है, नहीं निकालना, इट इज योर चॉइस. Then the banks which are not banks actually, which we have been misled, especially in tier 3, tier 4 or villages, are the cooperative societies. नेशनल बैंक हम लोग बोलते थे ना 22 थे, निर्मला जी ने 13-14 कर दिए मर्जर के बाद. प्राइवेट बैंक भी शायद 20-25 के आसपास है. टोटल 50-60 बैंक है प्राइवेट नेशनल मिला के. अब कम हो जाएंगे, कंसोलिडेट हो जाएंगे. Can you even guess how many banks cooperative banks are in India? Somebody put up in the chat box. I'm willing to see the number from you. How many banks? Put up in the chat box. Your audios can't be muted. Put up in the chat box. Those who are watching on Facebook page, those who are watching on Zoom, put up in the chat box. How many? मैंने आपको बता दिया प्राइवेट और नेशनल मिला के 50-60 बैंक है एवरेज. Can be 10-20 here and there, but छोड़ो. How many cooperative banks are there in India? Cooperative societies, they are called banks. How many they are in India? Okay, Sabyasachi says 1500. Anyone else? 92 guys in the Zoom room. Guys, go on. Go on, go on. I'm waiting for your responses. 2000, 10,000, 2000. Wow. या 50-60 के बराबर 10,000 थोड़ा सा ज्यादा हो गया यार, थोड़ा थोड़ा लिबर्टी से लो. So Sabyasachi already had discussed this with me, so he knows the answer close to it. Is about 1538, close to 1500 लगा लो, 1600 लगा लो, 1500 लगा लो, whatever, but close to 1538. Even 1500 plus is a huge number. 1500 plus is a huge number. You can't even imagine the number, but they are not banks. They are not regulated by RBI bank. If you all remember, I'll take you back to memory lane. लॉकडाउन की बार बार बात कर रहे हैं ना. 5 मार्च 2020, किसी को याद है क्या हुआ था? नहीं याद है, मैं बताता हूँ. मेरी फैमिली में मेरे भाई का बर्थडे होता है. We were all having a family dinner, and what happened that day? Yes Bank crisis. Yes Bank को सील कर दिया गया. सील इन द सेंस कि इससे कोई पैसा ना निकलवा सकता, ना डाल सकता. उससे पहले 4 months बैक नवंबर 19 पीएमसी बैंक क्राइसिस हुआ था, महाराष्ट्र एंड पंजाब के कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स का. यस बैंक के लिए मॉरेटोरियम दिया गया था 28 डेज का. द बैंक वाज गिवन द डेट ऑफ 2nd और 3rd of April. 16th of March, 11 days after the moratorium was applied, Yes Bank was back on its feet, the limits restored, everything normal, and the biggest investor with 49%, State Bank of India, followed by HDFC, Axis, Federal, and a couple of other banks. So the government helped in its revival. अगर वो private bank होता तो why would have even government bothered about it? Have you heard of the LVB, Lakshmi Vilas Bank? Last year क्या हुआ उसके साथ? किस बैंक ने LVB को overtake किया 2021 में? Can somebody tell me in the chat box? Lakshmi Vilas Bank. तो किस बैंक ने? DBS. Yes, Dr. Ranjit, right. DBS ने किया. And DBS is not an Indian bank. It is not an Indian bank. It is a bank which has its roots in Singapore. But of course, if you have to be present in India, the RBI regulation rules apply. फॉरेन का कोई भी आगे यहाँ प्रैक्टिस करता तो DCI के रूल्स अप्लाई होते हैं कि नहीं? सिमिलरली करना तो वो है. तो RBI pushed DBS to take over its ailing or failing bank, the LVB, Lakshmi Vilas Bank. And still you say private bank safe nahi hai. Your choice, even you think. And the reason मैं इससे शुरू हुआ था, अभी भी FD is our best investment. पैसा नेशनलाइज बैंक में पड़ा रहे 2.5-3% पे. RBI और स्टेट बैंक और फेडरल बैंक तो रेपो रेट के साथ लिंक है. उनका तो इंटरेस्ट पीछे ऑलमोस्ट 2.25 पे चला गया था. अब रेपो रेट रेज कर दिया, तो प्रॉब्ली दैट हैज बीन रेज्ड नाउ. बट दिस इज द वे आवर blinkers, you can say, are resulting in our investment in unwanted loans, unwanted investment in real estate, and of course in insurance sector. अब इंश्योरेंस की जब हम बात करते हैं, we all talk about majority of the plans that we have are endowment plans, money back plans. The first question is, अगर मैं बच गया तो मुझे क्या मिलेगा? Term insurance is purely like vehicle insurance. The money I told you, 15,000-16,000 premium. That is purely like vehicle insurance. आप नई गाड़ी लो, इंश्योरेंस लिया आपने. Do you want it to get hit? The answer is no. No. So if you don't want your car to get hit, so why do you want yourself to be hit? मैं बच गया तो मुझे क्या मिलेगा? That is the way the wrong things end up. Then for most of us, private practice is our biggest asset, biggest investment. So we have to nurture it, grow it, save it, and you can say make it upgraded so that we can enjoy the best of the services and offer the same to the best of the services to our patients. This is the way things go. And then number 7, we all know we have to understand that we can't take higher risks in our portfolio. It has to go in line with our risk appetite. But then the most abused word in India is कुछ नहीं होता, देखा जाएगा. जब होगा देखा जाएगा. In Punjabi also, this is one of the most abused words in my language. So, जो होगा देखा जाएगा is one of the most abused words. So we tend to invest in that कि अगर high में चला गया तो risk ले लेंगे, low में चला गया तो भी risk ले लेंगे. So we don't do a balanced investment part. So we need to understand number 8, that we need to pay our loans first and then go for home loans. Home loan is a long loan. Now, when it comes to loan, not all loans are bad. We talk about good loans and bad loans. So bad loans category में आएंगे आपके vehicle loan and miscellaneous loans. Worst loans में आएंगे personal loan, credit card loan. Credit card loan का मतलब ये होता है जो आपने installment miss करी. That is also a loan only. If you pay back in time, you pay nothing. But if you don't pay back on time, you pay a lot. Interest charges, finance charges, late payment charges, 3 kind of charges. And most of the banks have, credit cards have average 36 to 42%. मिल कितना रहा बैंक से 5.5-6%. दे कितना रहे हो 36 से 42% अगर एक दिन भी लेट हो गया देने में. बट वो आदत है ना, डॉक्टर हैं तो कार्ड रखना, फ्लैश करना जरूरी है. दिस इज वी नीड टू लर्न सम. देन वी नीड टू रीविजिट अवर पोर्टफोलियो. मैक्रो माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट बदलता है. रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर हुआ, मार्केट क्रैश करी, थोड़ी सी करेक्ट करी 15-18%. इट वाज अ गुड चांस टू इन्वेस्ट. दिस चांस केम इन COVID times also. Market corrected almost by 45%. We had a good chance to enter because it recovered. It staged a recovery in about you can say 8 to 9 months. It was back to its peak. The returns what you invest may be uncertain, but loan जो देना है वो fixed है. इसलिए बहुत सोच के लो. मैं बैंकर का बच्चा हूँ. My dad was a banker all his life. Of course, he was a guru to so many finance. He was a teacher of financial subjects for so many CAs of Punjab, even till today, are his students. I think, sorry, the pre-2005 era, almost all the big hotshots are his students only. Not from Punjab only, not from my town only, but from Punjab, other towns as well. So he guided me on one thing. जिंदगी में लोन नहीं लेना. The day you require it for even for any purpose, ask me. I will give you at 0%. Of course, you have to pay me back. Yes. Luckily, I didn't need that. He always said, earn and then invest. Earn and then upgrade accordingly. Don't go on. Those were times we could do this thing. I understand 22 years down the line, things have changed now. We can't enter in a 10/7 clinic like me at the start, what I had, as I told you in the beginning. Now we need to have a good interiors. The consumers are more demanding. So somebody may not be having the required resources. Somebody may be shy to ask from his parents who have already spent on his graduation or post-graduation. So they are willing to take up a loan. This is the way things start. And then it becomes a cycle. एक loan खत्म तो दूसरा शुरू, दूसरा खत्म तो तीसरा शुरू, तीसरा तो चौथा. And you get trapped in that. कमा बहुत रहे हैं सर, पर EMI बहुत बढ़ी जाती है. A common problem in my WhatsApp community as well. कमा बहुत रहे हैं लेकिन EMI बहुत जाती है. This is where things go. And then we need to upgrade our skills also. New products, new materials, attending convocations, seminars, lectures, and all that. You can say learning new skills. You need to dedicate a percentage of your savings to that as well. So your financial plan has to be firm and proper. Of course, with all your primary and secondary goals listed. ये primary है, and how you achieve those goals. We all lead busy lives, we all know, but understand if you can't handle it, pay and buy the services of a financial advisor who knows you, who understands your unique conditions, and then makes you invest. Don't invest on hearsay, especially not on the advice of your CA, especially not on the advice of your neighbor or a friend. The best way is to respect your own money. दैट इज द रीजन आई सेड 500,000 के लिए पेशेंट से लड़ाई करते हैं, बड़ी सुकून होता है कि नहीं उससे लेके ही छोड़ा, बट वेयर वी थ्रो दैट मनी उसका दर्द होता ही नहीं है हम लोगों को. Understand the difference between these two things. So there are a few gimmicks which have entered into the financial industry as well. So let's look at them as well. Overconfidence, gullibility. ये तो बहुत easy चीज है. फाइनेंस क्या करना मैनेज कर लें. You remember, you all must be getting so many calls. हम सोचते हैं हमारा डेटा लीक किसने किया. इतने लोन के कॉल्स, इतने क्रेडिट कार्ड के कॉल्स कहाँ से आते हैं, इनको हमारा नंबर मिला कहाँ से. देयर आर रूमर्स, हमारी एसोसिएशंस लीक करती हैं, प्रैक्टो जैसे सॉफ्टवेयर लीक करते हैं, जस्ट डायल जैसे साइट्स लीक करते हैं. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दीज आर प्रूवन थिंग्स, दीज आर रूमर्स. देयर हैव बीन अ फ्यू एसोसिएशंस or linkages except you can say which have been made between these, whereby our habits and preferences have been analyzed, and that is the way कि ये बंदा वहां पे इन्वेस्ट करेगा. दिस इज द वे. ये बंदा वहां स्पेंड करता है. ही इज अ स्पेंड थ्रिफ्ट, so he will need returns. So we are too busy to cross check sometimes, and वो mental satisfaction होती है ना, हाँ हाँ कुछ ना कुछ बचा रहे. लोग इतने सारे व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स में एडेड हो जाते हैं अपने आप को झूठी तसल्ली देने के लिए. हम पढ़ रहे हैं, हम पढ़ रहे हैं, हम इतने ग्रुप में हम पढ़ रहे हैं. किसी का फोन उठा के देख लो, 500 से लेके 10,000 मैसेजेस, मिनिमम 500 मैक्सिमम 10,000 मैसेजेस अनरेड होंगे. व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ व्हाट्सएप? कम्युनिकेशन. इफ यू हैव 10,000 अनरेड मैसेजेस, व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ दैट ब्लडी कम्युनिकेशन? I find people in my own WhatsApp community also replying to a message after 1 month. That's very good. Putting up a notice, asking me thing, sir, can I post this in group? I say, good morning. We discussed this aspect in the group in detail. Then I took a YouTube session on it also, and that link was also shared. And you are asking, sir, मैं ये case share कर दूं, श्वेता सतीश वाला, जो last month हुआ था रूट कनाल का. Exactly after a month, a guy from my community contacted me. मैं कहा मैं तो कर दूंगा, तुमने बताओ कितने देर से ग्रुप नहीं खोला. इतने. देन somebody, सर जीएसटी का मैं ऐसे कैसे करूं? अगेन माय क्वेश्चन, कितने दिन से ग्रुप नहीं खोला? सर काफी दिन हो गए. इस डेट को खोलो, जीएसटी पे प्रॉपर डिस्कशन हुई है इन डिटेल. देन सॉरी सर, सॉरी सर, सर ये फ्री है ना इसलिए हम लोग वैल्यू नहीं करते. योर चॉइस, मेरा तो कोई नुकसान नहीं है ना, मैं तो बोल के सिखा के चले जाऊंगा. So this is the way things need to get better. Then we all have been guilty of falling prey to investment. So many dentists have fallen prey to Mr. Satish Kumar of Army as well. You all know who he is. If you don't know, get informed. He using the same modus operandi and is still getting successful. So many dentists in Punjab lost the money, and we notified about this in last August. It's been 1 year. Mr. Satish Kumar is cheating people, and still people get cheated. What is that? Ignorance, false security, false mental security. We are learning. We are not learning. We're just fooling ourselves. Then, because we lose out on the time, अब ये क्या होता है पढ़े लिखों की आदत. अब समझ आ गया है, डॉक्टर भवदीप ओझा जो कहते थे ना कि टाइम इज द मोस्ट वैल्यूएबल एसेट. अब ये बात समझ आ गई है. बट अब इस चीज की कमी पूरी कैसे की जाए कि जो 10 साल लूज हो गए, 20 साल लूज हो गए, उसको कमी करने का तरीका कि फट से कोई ऐसी इन्वेस्टमेंट मिल जाए जो छट से रिटर्न दे दे, एंड देन वी अर्न. फिर हम तरीके से इन्वेस्ट करेंगे. एंड दीज डेज इट इज क्रिप्टो करेंसी. दैट इज द बिगेस्ट थिंग. सो मेनी ऑफ अस आर फोकस्ड ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट्स and have a product centric approach rather than managing our personal finances holistically. So we are almost 50 minutes into the presentation. So let's summarize a few things and end the presentation with due time. So we are the cream of the society. So ideally we should be cracker jerk investors. We can say geniuses, brilliant mind people, but we are not adept in financial matters. I told you our education system is broken. Illiteracy lies in our system. We've never been taught in our college life. We've never been taught in our family. We've never discussed these things in our family over a dining table. I see a few changes happening now. My daughter has N flat as a subject, national financial literacy, from standard 6 to standard 10. Those are there. At least there is, you can say, an attempt being made to, you can say, encourage that. Of course, it is not a subject which is graded या जिसके नंबर लगते हैं, but at least कुछ लोग तो पढ़ेंगे, aware कुछ तो होंगे शायद. So time का मतलब ये होता है, why it is most valuable asset. The sooner you start, the better advantage you hold over others. So best way is to start planning at 25 itself. Start with 500 rupees per month. Start with 2000 rupees per month. If you can do that at the age of 25, and till 30 अगर आप same amount भी रखोगे, trust me guys, you will have a bomb by the age of 50. Of course, I don't presume that कि 30 के बाद भी आप 2000 ही करते रहोगे. You will of course proportionally. मैंने आपको first 5 years की example दी. 500 per month, 6000 साल का कुछ नहीं होता. एक मूवी की कीमत नहीं होती 500 जो हम लोग देखने जाएंगे 11 तारीख को. 2000, one dinner outing with the family, with the friends, with the liquor, without liquor, whatever. Just one pink or one green note, bare minimum. If you can start at 25, that is the best thing you can do to yourself. Not to me, you to yourself. Return आपको मिलेगा, मुझे कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. So, what is the carry home gyan for today? So those who attend my webinars, they know my presentations end always with the carry home gyan. So there is a specific need to plan the financial needs, which means goal planning. I've given you a few idea of the goals for a 28-year-old, for a 31, 20, 32-year-old, for someone like my age who has children of this age. So you have to think on that. Then your net worth analysis, what actually you are worth. Your cash flow management, कहाँ से आता है, कहाँ जाता है आपका पैसा. Asset allocation strategies, कितना equity में, कितना debt में, as per your age, as per your risk appetite, as per your earnings, कितना. वही जितना अमाउंट आपको 25 से 30 में बोला ना, अगर आप लोकम भी होंगे, एसोसिएट भी होंगे, असिस्टेंट डेंटिस्ट भी होंगे, whatever you are, इतना तो आप फिर भी कर पाएंगे. I started at 2000 rupees in my morning job, 2000 rupees in my evening job. I have no shame in accepting that. But that was 22 years back. People still claim that we are underpaid. Yes, you may be underpaid. Then who's to blame? Our own colleagues only for this. If they want to milk, you can say have a milking cow with them and don't want to pay the milking cow, who's to be blamed? Always the system, always the government? No, this time no. And then वो आंसर आ जाता है कॉमनली, सरकार नौकरियां नहीं निकालती. To hell with it यार. Being a dentist means you are an entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneur, and being an entrepreneur is a blessing. And we bloody look at the job. मैं तो जिनको जॉब वाले उनको बोलता हूँ अपना माइंडसेट बदलो. 10-12 साल आपने काम कर लिया ना, तो उसके बाद आप चाहोगे भी तो भी entrepreneur नहीं बन पाओगे, क्योंकि your monkey mind will keep on taking you to that. नहीं, मैं तो जॉब में सेफ था, कम से कम इतना तो आ जाता था. You build a cocoon around you. उतने से आगे जाना ही नहीं है हमने. दायरा बड़ा करके देखोगे ना, वो घोड़े के ब्लिंकर्स लगे होते हैं ना, सड़क पे जा रहा होता है, वो देख ही नहीं सकता लेफ्ट राइट. उसका मतलब होता है मालिक के लगाने का कि घोड़ा इधर उधर ना देखे, ट्रैक पे चले. ब्लिंकर्स हटा के देखो, दुनिया ग्रीन नहीं है, दुनिया कलरफुल है. So we have to understand. And what do you need to learn in financial plan? Minimizing taxation, risk management, insurance planning, succession planning, and of course, managing the tax liability. So the moral of whole story is, do not spend first, save first. What is required? Financial discipline. Need to understand that part very clearly. Discipline is what is required to overcome stress. जो व्हाट्सएप की एग्जांपल दी ना मैंने, 10,000 मैसेजेस रख लिए, 8,000 मैसेज रख लिए, वो हम पता किस उम्मीद में रखते हैं, एक संडे आएगा जिस दिन मैं बैठ के कॉपी खोल के सारे मैसेजेस खोल के नोट्स बनाऊंगी। ट्रस्ट मी गाइस, वो संडे कभी नहीं आता, वो संडे कभी नहीं आता। अ कंसिस्टेंट एफर्ट कैन मेक यू गो प्लेस। रोम वॉज नॉट बिल्ट इन अ डे, फाइनेंशियल फॉर्च्यून्स कांट बी बिल्ट इन अ डे। अगर आप 2,000 रुपए 10 साल के लिए इन्वेस्ट करते हैं और आपका कोई फ्रेंड सेम स्कीम में 4,000 इन्वेस्ट करता है, लेकिन वो 5 साल बाद स्टार्ट करता है, वो 5 साल के लिए करता है, एट द एंड ऑफ 10 years उसने अपना अमाउंट बेसिक पूरा कर दिया, जितना आपने 10 साल में डाला उतने 5 साल में डाल दिया, पर पैसा दोनों को 10 साल बाद मिलना है। कैन यू इवन इमेजिन कितना डिफरेंस होगा? आप बोलोगे थोड़ा बहुत डिफरेंस हो जाएगा, उसने पैसा प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट तो सेम ही है ना। आपके पास क्या एडवांटेज है? टाइम। 3 बार मैं बोल चुका हूँ, it will be at least 2.5 times money with you. Can be more, can be less, little. It will be principal amount same होने के बावजूद. This is the power of compounding. This is the reason I'm telling you to start early, चाहे with a small amount. This is the reason I'm telling you to become aware. This is the reason I'm telling you to be disciplined. थोड़ा 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 बोलते ना, इतना बड़ा हाथी आ गया या हाथी की शेप में मिठाई आ गई घर में, कैसे खाएंगे? खाना तो उसको भी बाइट बाय बाइट ही पड़ेगा ना। यू कांट हैव कि पूरा हाथी मुंह में डाल लो, वो नहीं कर सकते ना आप। यू स्टिल हैव टू ईट इट बाइट बाय बाइट। रिमेंबर, फाइनेंशियल डिसिप्लिन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। सो टाइम इज गोल्ड फॉर अस, not gold only, it is a diamond for us and a hard sought luxury. Ask my group members 40 years 45 years old, those of you are, सर आप मुझे 10 साल पहले क्यों नहीं मिले? मेरे को आप मिले होते तो मेरी सिचुएशन आज और होती। So when Dr. Anisha said that I want, ये कम्युनिटी को मैं टारगेट करना चाहती हूँ, स्टूडेंट्स, I even did not have any reluctance of 1 minute to say. I just asked her one question: what is your purpose of doing all this? I wanted to identify with her mission and vision. And she said again the similar words that I said at the start of the session. She said, I want to give back to the society. And that is precisely what I am doing. So when people identify with my mission, I don't even think about being collaborating or being associated with them. We all have a busy schedule. The best way is to get informed and track your finances yourself. But if you can't, at least pay someone and get your finances in order. That is the best way to keep your financial life healthy and running and on right track, plus to avoid stress. Expand your horizons. वो blinkers घोड़े वाले उतार दो. Have an abundance mindset. देना सीखो. फ्री में कोई भी आपको वैल्यू वाली चीज नहीं देगा, नहीं देगा। बहुत कम लोग आपको फ्री में बहुत वैल्यूएबल दे जाते हैं। अनफॉर्चुनेट पार्ट इज, जो दे जाते हैं दे ऑल्सो गेट मिक्सड इन द क्राउड। यार फ्री में इसने क्या बताया होगा, छोड़ो। वो लोग उसको वैल्यू नहीं करते हैं, या तो लोग देते नहीं है या दे जाता है उसको लोग वैल्यू नहीं करते। सो देयर इज अ डिफरेंस, डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट पार्ट। So I'll end up with the financial last quote by me only. Keep money stress at bay with a financial planner in place. This planner can be you. This planner can be an advisor. This planner can be even your father, even your parents, even anyone from your family who can guide you. But then again, don't have that mindset कि वही FD में पैसा डालो सेफ है, नेशनल में पैसा डालो सेफ है. Those things are absolutely, you can say, passe now, or a thing of the past now. We need to remember that. So thank you so much. Exactly 7:05 we started, we finished at 8:05. Just before I stop my presentation, a few announcements. As I said, most of you, those who stay till the end, they'll get to know of upcoming projects as well. Of course, this is not a publicity exercise. I don't promote any of the paid things over here. What I am doing, like Dr. Anisha and her team, what I am doing, I'm just making all of you aware of all those aspects. So this is my WhatsApp community, now running since 4.5 years now. Recently, we consolidated into 256 into 512. So otherwise, I was supposed to stop them at 6 because I take session in 1 and then forward to 5 groups. So 6 is the upper limit for me. So luckily, with the WhatsApp expansion, these communities got a breather and we consolidated the 3 communities. Now the 4th group is on. When we consolidated, the 3rd one was about to be filled for both. And the wonderful thing is there are no invite links. This community has been built brick by brick, and I am the only admin in there. You have to send me a number, and these are purely advertisement free, pure study based groups, which recently had a relaunch of a 3.0 version. 1.0, 2.0, now we had a 3.0 version. So you won't get an invite link, note my number, send me a message, I will add you to the community. There are a few rules to be followed, which all the community members follow. And these are 1 groups. मैं साल में 6 paid workshops करता हूँ every alternate month on 3 different topics that I teach. Even my own paid workshops are not promoted inside. Only info is given twice or thrice that these are same or available on my story. You can check it out. And I'm organizing it there and then. That's it. No other details, not even a brochure shared in there. And I don't let anyone else also share it because I have to lead by example. So if you want to be associated with an absolute advertisement free, pure study based group, message me on this number. I'll add you. This is my YouTube channel, started on 1st June 2020. I'm a guy who used to take a lot of offline workshops and lectures all over India. But when it came to camera, my simple philosophy was I hate the camera and the camera doubly hates me back. But then lockdown happened. The AA boys, Anand and Abhishek of World Dental Association called me up on 22nd of March 2020. Sir, क्लिनिकल तो हो नहीं पाएगा 10-15 दिन जो भी छुट्टियां हैं एट दैट टाइम वी फेल्ट 10-15 दिन की छुट्टियां हैं तो जो 10-15 दिन की छुट्टियां उसमें नॉन क्लिनिकल टॉपिक्स लेते तो आपसे बेटर कौन नहीं यार तू मेरे से ऑफलाइन जो मर्जी करवा ले मैं ऑनलाइन नहीं करूंगा यार मेरे को नहीं आता आई डोंट लाइक टू फेस द कैमरा आई एम समवन हु डजंट हैव इवन यू कैन से आई एम 45 years old I don't have even 45 of my pictures in my family album if I look at them because I was that camera shy. But then I overcame that fear and I had a stammering problem also in the childhood. So if you don't find any of these things, those were the handicaps in my life which I overcame. And in a little over 2 years, there are 510 videos, all developed in this period of lockdown only. And trust me, all the basic topics of practice management, all the basic topics of medical legal ethics, consent, documentation, and all the basic topics of finance, you will find the video in there. So do subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell icon. I keep on posting 2 videos every day. July, I took a breather. From August onwards, you will get short videos very soon over there. Now, this is a new thing which I'm going to launch on 12th of August. You guys are the first one to know it. As I said, we have a DMF index in dentistry. We have a DMF index in our professionals, the documentation, management, and financial. This is lacking. So I'm going to start a Facebook group by the name of PhD. Again, the groups will be in my name only, Dr. Bhavdeep. Of course, it is not live yet. It will be live in a couple of days' time. We'll be launching it officially on the birthday of my dad. So the group's name is PhD to overcome the DMF. Of course, I have 2 companies also, which have been floated. The paperwork is in progress. They'll be also launched that day, along with in unison with this. So PhD stands for plugging the handicaps of dentistry. We all lack in documentation, record keeping, consent, the management part, and the financial part. So the PhD to overcome the DMF of dentistry. And these are the 2 webinars. Recently, we had you can say a 2-week discussion in our WhatsApp community, where we discussed the pain points in dentistry. Everybody put up their anonymous or with name pain points. So I'm summarizing that. I'm taking 2 webinars just like today. Again, these webinars are not, you can say, not chargeable. These are free of cost, giving back to the profession. The first webinar happens at 7 a.m. in the morning, which is the usual standard time. I've taken most of the webinars on my channel. And second happens at 2 p.m. And these are topics, again, it's a special day. As I said, we celebrate this day as the mini day of education in our community, 12th of August and 30th of June. So we have a 3rd webinar that day also. Of course, the topic may be changed, but this is the finance webinar on that day. at 8 p.m. So 7 a.m., 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. The standard times which I take on every webinar on 30th June and 12th of August. So we'll be doing these 3 webinars on that day. Of course, as of now, they will not be coming up on YouTube anytime soon. So as I told you in the PhD part also, my social media presence also, it is standardized. Everything is in my name only, Dr. Bhavdeep. That is my standard way of connecting with me, except the page, because I have my profile in this name, so the page could not be in this name. So my page is Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja, but everything else is in Dr. Bhavdeep's name. So do send me your valuable feedback on my number, because on Zoom, you may not be able to send your message or proper feedback. Do send me on your number. Bookies and breakfasts would be welcome and equal measure. If you have something to learn from today's session, I'll be more than happy. If you find something wrong in today's session, please be open to tell me. I'll be willing to listen to that and make changes in further sessions. So thank you once again. And I stop my share for questions from all of you. Firstly, we'll take up questions from chat here, or maybe you can unmute yourself after that one by one. And then we'll take up the questions from the FB page. And I'm here till all the queries are answered. So rest be assured, I'm not going anywhere. Let me just, okay, just a minute, please. Okay, Dr. Pankaj says Satish Kumar activity new number. पंकज जी, सतीश के पास पहले से 4-5 नंबर है, वो और कोई और नया ले लिया हो तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है, बट ऑलरेडी 5-6 नंबर उसके पास ऑलरेडी थे. Yes, Dr. Ranjit, we have to plan our goals. Save first, spend later. Debt is really bad. Good debt, as I said, bad debt, good debt बोल दिया था, worst debt बता दिया था. A good debt may be something like a home loan, which has a very less EMI, less percentage, and of course goes on for longer year and does not cut a hole into the pocket, you can say. So that is a kind of a good loan, but then you should think of those things after 45. If you don't have a home, you can say a roof over your head on your own, you can say. Thank you, Dr. Hemant. Thank you, Samsung SM. I can't read your name. Samsung SM1. Thank you for those words. Thank you, Dr. Sabyasachi. Thank you, Dr. Ankit. Thank you, Dr. Pankaj Raj. Thank you, Dr. Paki. Yes, you can mute yourself one by one and ask your queries, if any. I'll be most happy to answer them.
So one of the personal questions that I got on WhatsApp group, the student is asking, how do we financially plan for our masters, and then also later on picking up the loan for our clinics? So what are the steps?
The steps are to skip the loan. The first thing is that is the reason I was stressing on this thing. And the question is already based on, we take the first loan, then we take the second loan. We are getting, then we say, दो तो ले ले, चल तीसरा भी ले लो, तीसरा लेंगे clinic की upgradation के लिए, maybe for marriage, maybe for vacation, maybe for similar things. So the cycle goes on, it never ends. And when the EMI is going to burn a hole, where is the money going to come for your retirement plan? So as I said, the best loan you can take is from your parents. That is the best thing I always advise. They are our best guides. So take from them at 0%, else don't.
So like being undergraduate students, and now that we are being getting aware about the financial planning and all, so what are the small steps that we students can take up? Like how can we invest the pocket money that we get on a monthly basis?
I already said for your age group, I already answered that. Between the age group of 25 and 30, start with a bare minimum amount, 500, 2000 per month. Make it a disciplined approach. I understand you may not be earning well or big enough till the age of 30, but you get the pocket money. You can save at least 500 from there, 1000 from there, 1500. I gave you the range, 500 minimum, 2000 max. If you can do more, luckily, very good. But all this invested in your budding years of life, budding years of your financial life is going to come handy big time. And trust me, when you can plan your retirement early, there is no bigger blessing. And it is a crime, I would say, to ask for money from your kids in your old age. That is the worst thing a parent can do, is to depend upon his children. I'm not saying कि will बच्चे ऐसे निकले वैसे निकले. That is one aspect different, but that is one aspect I always encourage that we should not be doing. Yeah. Yes. Any questions, or I take up from the chat? Okay. Okay. Dr. Raghu says wonderful session for the right group of audience students. Thank you. Thank you, Raghu. So all the brochures that you saw for the pain points and the PSD and you can say the webinar on 12th August, all of them have been designed by Raghu only. Thank you, Raghu. So Dr. Pankaj says, sir, me and my wife are 40 now, planning for second home loan. What do you suggest? Should we close our loan by what age? Sir, ideally, if you plan to retire by 55, take it for 15 years. Or maybe take it for 20 with a foreclosure option to close it in 55. I don't say, अब बात ये आ जाती है ना, entrepreneur को तो ये अपने हाथ में ना कब retire होना है, unless the profession forces us. I would say pick your age, pick your hours. If after 15, 20 years of practice you can't pick your hours, then there is no point in doing that practice. So I'm not saying that to you, but I'm generally saying that. So I would say at the age of 40, pick up a loan of 20 years with a foreclosure option to close it at 55 and plan to retire at 55. That would be a short and sweet answer for you. We have, so Dr. Aditya says, we have so many types of mutual funds. So which type of mutual fund should we consider for someone who is in mid-20s? Dr. Aditya, for youngsters, normally we say those who have lesser responsibilities, pure equity is the option. Now, of course, you can't put in your whole money in the equity. So the ideal formula is 100 minus your age. So if you are 30 years of age, I'm taking it on the higher side. If you're 30 years of age, 100 minus 30, 70% should be, you can say, exposed to equity mutual funds. But in Indian scenario, we consider 70 thoda sa higher side ko jayega, risky ho jayega. Then we do it in the format of 80 minus your age. Means 50% at the age of 30 should go into equity. The rest should go into debt, gold, you can say, and hybrid or different types. When I talk of hybrid, my first choice is not a mutual fund, but National Pension Scheme, NPS. When I talk of, you can say, gold, my first choice is SGB, sovereign gold bonds. And when I talk of the security part, I mean the term insurance, the medical insurance, the personal, professional indemnity insurance, and of course, the emergency fund along with it. And whatever topic I've told you, sovereign gold bonds, term insurance, medical insurance, loans, even you can say mutual funds, all of those videos are there on my YouTube channel. Mutual fund series on my dad's last death anniversary in 2021, I launched 15 short videos on mutual fund basics. I used to take live in my WhatsApp community every Monday and Thursday, Mondays on management and Thursdays on finance. So I've taken up mutual funds in detail in topic. As such, in financial investment journey, I've taken a topic. All the videos on my channel are neatly arranged into different playlists. Short videos, long videos, practice management, medical legal, and finance. So just search through the channel. If you forget the link, just search Dr. Bhavdeep Oja on YouTube, you will find me. Subscribe to the channel. That is a big library that you can have, and that is absolutely free of cost. People tell me this thing, I won't boast of it, but people tell me this thing, लोग पैसे लेके वो नहीं बताते हैं जो आपने free में बताया हुआ on that. But yes, very few care to open it up. But I feel connecting with the students, I feel they may get benefited at an early age. So it is up to you if you want to take advantage of that. You have a lot of data on mutual funds being discussed in depth over there. So I hope you got your answer, Dr. Aditya. Thank you, Dr. Himadri, for your feedback. Thank you, Pankaj sir. Thank you, Dr. Aditya. So
yeah. One last question, sir.
Go on.
Student from in the group has texted. So can you give us a brief financial guide for starting a private practice with no financial support from family? So what shall we do if our families are not giving us the loan?
See, when we have to open up the clinic, you don't only need money. You need to ready yourself in 10 different aspects. You need to be mentally ready. You need to be physically ready. You need to be spiritually ready. You need to be contact wise ready. You need to be psychologically ready. There are 10 different aspects. I have a book published on that also. There are different articles also published on that. Even right now, a series is being published. Even that video is there on YouTube. So it is not about the finances. Opening up a practice is no longer a job that you can do like us, I would say 22 years back कि हम बोर हो रहे थे क्लिनिक खोल लिया. Don't just jump into the clinic for it just because you feel like कि मेरे को घर से सपोर्ट नहीं है, मेरे को पैसा कमाना है तो मैं क्लिनिक में आ जाऊं. ये कांटों का ताज है क्लिनिक. It is a crown of thorns. Have you seen picture film Nayak of starring Anil Kapoor? एक दिन का मुख्यमंत्री. एक दिन किसी के क्लिनिक में उसकी सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज करके देखो, you will realize it's not that easy. Yes, we get lured by the fact that the private practitioners earn a lot, but the amount of headache they have is not a small thing. So ready yourself in 10 aspects. Search on that video, new clinic opening guidelines or new clinic only on my channel. You will find that video. So once you find that video, watch it. Ask yourself whether you are ready in those 10 aspects. If you are ready, then jump into it. Because money is not the only thing you need when you need to jump. Money is not the only thing you need just to open up to buy the equipment. You will need much more than money in that regard. So don't ignore that. Ask a few questions, do a self-assessment, then jump into clinical thing. Be ready first, then jump. Thank you, Dr. Sabyasachi. Thank you, Dr. Mahendra. Thank you, Dr. Varnita. Any questions? Any more questions? I'll be more than willing to answer. I'm not in any kind of hurry. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I think we are done, Dr. Nisha. I don't find anyone questions on the feedback is there on Facebook page. Thank you, Dr. Bindu. Thank you, Dr. Ramchandra sir. Thank you, Dr. Gopal. Thank you, Dr. Amardeep. Thank you, Dr. Lalit Goyal.
So thank you so much, sir, for this webinar. I think this today, most of the students who are attending, it must have given them, the financial knowledge, because it is something that is not being taught at a school level or in a college level, like how to take care of your finances. And it is something very important that we students need to learn. So thank you for giving us this opportunity to have you as a speaker for our Dento webinar, which will be grateful for all the knowledge and the tips that you have shared. And I'm pretty sure after the end of this webinar, everybody's going to go to your YouTube channel and check out the different videos and all the knowledge and the hard work that you have put up. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, guys. It was indeed a pleasure connecting with you all. And I hope your Sunday evening has been well spent. So do send me your feedback if you find something worthwhile. And I'll see you in another webinar on 12th of August, those of you who are willing to attend. Bye-bye. Take care. Good night. Shabba khair.